What's going on, guys? Another week inside means another video sitting down, and in this one I'm giving you kind of my top 6 or 7 favorite film photographers that I've been following for the last couple of years, and why they mean so much to me, and some of my favorite photos. So let's get into it. Alright, first up we have Todd Hi Joe. In a previous video, me and Colin actually talked about Todd Hi Joe's work and kind of its impact on both of us. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. Todd takes most of his photos at night of these lit up houses, kind of focusing on isolation and his own loneliness. The photos reflect that while kind of giving a Midwestern nostalgic vibe that reminds me a lot of growing up as a kid and the scenery that I would see in the northern Midwest. All in all, I think Todd takes amazing landscapes and tells stories without really having to have a person or protagonist in the frame. The landscapes he takes are wonderfully composed, and he is a master of light, especially working with 90% of his photos being taken at night. Next up we have Mitch Epstein. Mitch has shot one of my favorite photo projects in general in his project called American Power. It looks at the relationship of American people to the giant power plants and the industry in general, and how closely knit we are with that. Many of the photos show these giant nuclear power plants and other factories in the backyard of houses, in football fields, in places that are kind of intimate to human beings and residential areas. I think all of his work on this project is just kind of an interesting juxtaposition of residential living and industrial manufacturing. Next up, we have someone who's probably very familiar with most of you guys, and that's Joe Career. He has his own channel where he shoots lots of vlogs and a unique series called Street Diaries, where he takes street photography and mounts a GoPro either on his chest or the camera. I think he captures just really unique people and settings, mostly being in New York City, but has done lots of other interesting stuff on different cultures and places in the world. I think he's really good at just capturing a specific moment and evoking emotion out of that. Next up is Logan Career. This guy is quite different than the others, being that he takes most of his photos on automotive subjects and racing cars. I think what's really interesting about Logan is, for his style of photography, digital definitely caters more to him. But with that being said, he still finds a way to shoot film and make really unique but aesthetically pleasing photos of these supercars. Additionally, I think he takes really interesting kind of lifestyle photos of some of the drivers and some of the gear. I think ultimately it just is a unique perspective on an industry that I'm not super familiar with, but since he shoots on film, you know I'm interested. Another photographer I really like is actually this Instagram account that goes by the name Normal and Boring. I don't really know much about them other than just the images they share. There's no name or profile picture even associated with it. Many of the photos that are shared on this account, though, lean into this nostalgia and kind of this 90s dream, and show scenes that are certainly unique and almost seem like out of a movie set. I feel like they're one of the most unique photography accounts on Instagram that I follow, and I pretty much instantly know whose photo it is when I see it when I'm scrolling through Instagram. Okay, and last up is Derbyshire. I really like Will's work, with many times it being landscapes. All of his photos are very relaxing and are something that I would love to hang on my wall. They kind of give me this sense of peace and almost nostalgia, even if I've never seen many of these places before. I think he does a great job of capturing like what a warm summer feels like, or laying in the tall grass watching the stars. And I think that's a really powerful thing when it comes to making images. I realized as I'm editing that my camera had actually died at this section, but I wanted to include some honorable mentions, as there's more people that I wanted to include than just these like top 5 or 6. Alright, the first one being Willem Verbeek. I feel like there's not much that needs to be said, as he has quite the catalog both on YouTube and on Instagram of photos and videos that kind of speak for themselves. But I really enjoy all of his work, from the closer intimate portraits to kind of the wider landscapes. I think he does a great job of telling stories through his photos, whether or not there be a story to tell necessarily. Next up is Barney Arthur. We've been meaning to make a video now for the last couple weeks, so stay on the lookout for that, because that'll come into fruition here pretty soon, and it's pretty exciting. It'll be an interesting one. With that being said, I think he has a unique perspective on portraits, and given his location being quite different than mine, I think the people he shoots definitely cater to his style and just give a very unique perspective that I definitely do not see on a local level. There's also this ski photo he took that I am absolutely in love with. And yeah, man, he just has really good quality work and good quality videos, so I would definitely check that out too. Next up for honorable mentions is Jersey Jinx. He actually used to work for Complex Magazine and was one of their main hosts and personalities. Ever since I've been following him since like 2014, he's been shooting 35mm film. He even went as far as priding himself on one take Jinx. I remember on Twitter, he would post these Polaroids that he would take of famous people and quote, only take one shot. Either way, I think he has a unique perspective being in the industry, and it's not all completely just portraits of famous people. He has some really interesting lifestyle stuff, some slice of life, and some landscapes. Alright, and lastly is Jeff Bridges. Who would have thought? So Jeff Bridges, famously from The Big Lebowski, actually shot tons of behind the scenes film photos while he was on set using the Whitelux camera, which is an interesting camera in and of itself. He took tons of behind the scene photos and even made a little series of actors doing a kind of photo rendition of the comedy tragedy masks. Either way, I think it's really interesting, and he gives a perspective that is definitely I've never seen an actor or someone kind of this level of famous show photos that are so good taken on a location that such few people actually get to see. And with him being able to take some of these cinematic movie sets and put them into photos, it creates some really interesting photos that look like almost stills from these movies. At the end of the day, I think Jeff Bridges is just a legend for doing this and kind of documenting not only his life but these movies in such a unique way with almost a camera that I think is novelty to a certain extent. And yeah, I just think it's really cool and really interesting to see these people who have really refined skills get into photography as a side hobby and crush it, honestly. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. My camera actually died halfway through this, so I'm actually using my laptop now to kind of do the outro because I don't have any batteries. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed some of my favorite photographers. Let me know if you guys have heard of these guys below, and definitely drop below your favorite photographers, as I'm always looking for inspiration and unique perspectives within the film community. Otherwise, stay on the lookout for some more photo vlogs and some more walking around, actually taking photo videos, as me and Colin have been working hastily, and I've met up with some other friends doing some really interesting and fun things with medium format, large format, and some 35mm stuff. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, as it helps me out a ton, and I think that's it. That's all I got for you. Until next time, peace out.